Hello everyone, I'm John and this is Just a Gearhead. In today's episode, we're going to try to do an engine stand start with the 401. Recently just received the Flexplate for a gentleman down in the States who had a couple of these. So I just got this. I got the starter and the distributor cabinet like I showed last time and the oil pan gasket. And I went out and bought some spark plugs and stuff for it. So I think what we're going to start with is repairing and replacing the oil pan gasket, and then we'll switch out the spark plugs and distributor and that, get this and the starter installed, and then we'll see if we can't get this thing to run. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so like I said, first thing we're going to do is take this oil pan back off and have it turn the motor sideways just to give myself a little bit easier time to get to it. So yeah, we'll quickly pop this all off and we'll take a look at installing the gasket. Alright. Still some oil in there. Alright, so while I have this open, again, just going to take a quick look at our pickup here. Make sure it still looks okay, there's nothing clogging it up too much. No. Everything looks pretty good. So this was obviously leaking at some point, but I can't even tell if I don't think there's not sure there's even a gasket on here before. Doesn't look like it. It's like the last person that had this open just put it together with a whole bunch of silicone. Does that make a mess of my floor? So I'm going to try to clean off this silicone as best we can. And then we'll install the new gasket. And while we have this off, it's obviously dropped on the pan a couple of times and the filter was completely crushed too, so I have a new filter as well. We're going to try to bang this out a little bit. I'm not going to spend too much time doing it because not sure if I'm going to be able to reuse this pan in that frame. I might have to go to a rear sump instead of a center sump pan. I won't know until I try to put it in that frame later. But in the meantime, so this might all have to come off again, so we're not, if it leaks a little bit, I'm not too concerned because I might have to do it again. But we'll do our best with it. Oh, there is a gasket. It's just really old and ugly. Clean this off the best we can. Alright, so I've kind of given this a quick clean, but over time, from tightening and replacing the pans, where the bolts go through, sometimes gets deformed. If you put a straight edge on there, you can see there's a gap. Let's see if I can show you guys that. Maybe you guys can kind of see right in here between the bolt holes, the gaps. So that, sometimes the gasket has a hard time making up that space if it's too much. So what we're going to go around and do is go around and hammer down each one of the bolt holes just a little bit, just to get that a little bit smoother so that we don't have quite a gap, as much of a gap. So all I'm going to use, excuse me, is a little dolly, right, that has a nice flat edge on it. And we're going to put that on the back side of the lip. Let's see, picture that. And then we're going to take a little body hammer and just give it a few whacks. Let's give it a feel. And we're going to do that all the way around. And then we'll put the straight edge. We'll just check with the straight edge ever so often to see how it looks. And hopefully we'll push them down a little bit. And that'll make it so the pan will fit a little tighter. And we'll also bang out this dent in the bottom here a little bit with the hammer. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going to reuse this oil pan. Depends on how it fits in the frame. So I'm not going to do too much on this. I'm just going to do a quick little bit just in case I do just leave it on. So, all right. This side is actually bent down a little bit through here. Like I flattened down the bolt holes, but this lip bends down. So I'm just going to give it a couple of whacks. Alright, that's better. Still got one bolt to hold up here. It's a little up. Okay, so not perfect, but it'll probably do. So I'm just going to give a couple of quick whacks in the center here, just to try to reverse that dent a bit. Okay, that does not seem to be working so much. So I think for now we're just going to leave that. Like I said, I might replace this pan anyways, so I didn't want to spend too much effort on it. So now we're going to put this back on with the new gasket, which is over there. Alright, so while I was at the store, I bought myself a tube of Permatex's black gasket maker. It's the black one side claims it's maximum oil resistance. So what I'm going to do with this, now that I've got the surface fairly cleaned up, is go around and run a little bead of it around it. Spending a little extra right around the bolt holes and where the timing cover meets the front and where the rear cap is here for the crank. Because those areas have a tendency to leak if you don't get a little gob on them. Alright. Now, some guys will do that all the way around on this too. I kind of think it's a decent idea. It'll help hold the gasket in place, and like I said, this thing, being it's an old pan, isn't straight, so give you a better chance of filling up those gaps. Alright, now I've got a bead of that going all the way around. I'm just going to smooth it down a little bit, just to get rid of any voids that might be there. There you go. Now I like to just run my finger around and smooth out the gasket maker stuff, so there's not just gobs of it hanging out all over the place. Alright, so that's back on. Now, gotta get this busted up piece of crap off and the new one of those on. I'll go find my wrench for that. Come on. There you go. Yeah. Well, that's garbage. A giant gaping hole in that. Yeah, beat the hell. There. Got a new one. Just need a little oil. Just on the gasket there. And then get it on. You just really want to go hand tight. That's it. Go too tight, you'll never get it off. Alright, hopefully you guys can kind of see from there. Okay, something of an odd angle there. Anyway, so this is where we're going to put the flex plate. We just got to get these 6 bolts backed out of here. They've been sitting there for a while, so use a double WD-40 to loosen those off. Ooh, this might be a trick. Oh, let's drive them down here. Oh, that sucks. So that took way too long to get that flex plate on. Every time I started to get the bolts in, even if it was slightly out of alignment, I could get like a couple started, but the other 2 wouldn't go. So that took a little fiddling around and fighting with, more than I expected. So starter will hopefully be easier. It's just 2 bolts. I think they're 5/8, and should just slide in, bolt up, and we should be good. At least that's the plan. Of course. Maybe they didn't have socket wrenches, because nothing seems to clear my socket wrench. I'll have to get a elbow. No, that's not going to work either. Alright, where's that wrench? Alright. So that's on now. So now we'll move on to spark plugs and distributor net. Alright, like I said in a previous episode, is I crushed this distributor cap. So I got a new one, and while I was at it, I bought a new rotor. So we're going to replace the rotor while we're at it. Probably won't be able to see much from there. I'll see if I can adjust you guys. Alright, the camera cut out there for a minute. I'm not sure what I got or not. So the rotor, there's the old one, the new one. Look to be pretty much the same. They're just held on with 2 flat blade screws, and there's a round hole, or round peg and a square peg, and there's a hole there and there, so you can't really mess up which way it goes. Just like that. And back on it goes. Now these are just held on by these little clips here. Up there. Alright, so the firing order is printed on the valve covers, like I said. According to the internet, number 1 should be this one here. Let's just double check that. Yeah, this should be number 1. So I'm going to pull, I've already pulled out some of the spark plugs. I'm going to finish pulling out the other spark plugs, and then we'll start wiring them with number 1 being here, and we'll just follow this firing order here because it matches what I found online. Alright. Yeah. So off to Canadian Tire. I lied, I didn't actually have to go to Canadian Tire. I do have another set of old plugs, so we'll give these ones a shot. Alright, so now we're just going to throw some oil in it. I'm going to pour down the oil fill with this little breather hole here. And I think there's a vent hole over here I can put some in, because I don't have a way to prime it really. So I'm just going to put some on each side if I can. And then we'll see. Then I think after that I got to hook up the battery and stuff and whatnot. So it's actually the next day. The battery I was trying to use to start it was dead, I guess, or too old. It wasn't holding the proper charge. So I went out and bought a new battery, had it on the charger overnight, and now it at least turns over. So now I think we'll have to hook up the coil and see if we can get spark and see if we can get the fire. Alright, I'm not sure if we're getting spark or not. Alright, no spark, so I'm going to bet that coil's no good. So might have to go back to Canadian Tire again. Alright, so it's actually a few days later again. One thing I've learned is guys at parts counters only know what's in the computer. They don't seem to know anything else. Can't seem to, so they were no help. I ended up going online and ordering a new coil and new plugs for it, and we're going to change those out. And next time I do this, or have another motor like this, I think I'm just going to go online, order all the parts at once, just so I don't have to keep going back and forth to the parts store or ordering more parts off the internet. So anyway, so we got ourselves a new A-cell super stock coil and a new set of Taylor coil, or spark plugs I mean, and we're going to change all that out real quick, and then we're going to see if we can get a spark and get this thing to start. Okay, now let's see if it'll turn over. Alright. That's just in there for no real reason at all, actually. Why is that not going? Well, Alright, so while the camera's off, I went around, made sure that put the engine at top dead center, made sure that the rotor was pointing at the correct spark plug, double checked my timing order, checked some of my wiring to see if it hopefully was any of that. So we're going to give this another try and see if we can't get this to go. This is just some quick start, engine start stuff. Well, she fires. Alright, obviously the timing and stuff is probably way off. Well, maybe not way off, but it's definitely off. But it runs, it fires up, it runs. It's very chuggy at the moment. I wonder if we can get it to run a little bit smoother if I give that a little twist. See if that makes it any better or any worse. Actually, I wonder if it'll run by itself. Because that was with the starter still going. Maybe go back a little. Let's try that. That didn't help. It runs. Yes. All right. So on that happy note, that's where we're going to end this video. This is a lot more screwing around than I thought it was going to be, but it runs. It even stays running without the starter hooked up to it, which is off of this can. So we are going to paint this and whatnot in a future episode. I don't know which episode that'll end up being, but yeah. So thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys want merchandise, there's a link in the description for my Redbubble page. I'm also on Instagram and on Facebook. So yeah, please come check us out. And once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.